Hello there, it's Make It Now with Linda Lang. I have several little projects we're going to work on today, and they're all quick. That's why I'm putting them in one video. These are a little bit more complex, but I want to talk to you about these in a minute. This is a little bag I made out of just some scrap paper, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Here's a pocket. I just love this. You can put little notes in it. It's just a fold. You don't even glue. It's just folded. And so we're going to do that pocket. This is also a folded box. It's just folded. There's no glue, nothing. It's just so cool, and you can decorate it. And then I made, these are a little more complex, but you know how I love making baby books? Well, this is another book. And it's made with folded paper. And there's no glue, maybe a little glue on the spine for the book pages, but the rest of it is just folded paper, and it just makes a little book. What I did on this one was I worked on my computer a little bit, and I put the Psalm 23 in the pages of this book. So it's all the way to the end. And then, of course, I just used a little clip to close it. And that's a book. So that is what we're going to make today. Now, these are very lovely, I have to tell you. This was made out of just 4 envelopes. And I made my own closure, and I'll show you how I did that too. But you actually put all these envelopes together, and then you embellish them. This one I just came up with this morning. I learned a technique on doing envelopes, but I want to show you something about Christmas cards. You know, sometimes I have 2 or 3 Christmas cards I want to give to one person. Well, I just can't. And then I have boxes and boxes and boxes of Christmas cards. So what I decided to do was I put 2 Christmas cards together and made a booklet. Okay, the first thing we're going to make are these little pockets. Now look how many I've made so far. I had a lot of fun. And I actually put the little bit of the information on here. 2.5 inches by 10 inches long. That's what this is. 2.5 inches by 10 inches. That's all you need. One piece of paper, no glue, no staples, no tape, no nothing. And we're going to make a pocket. This is what you do first. Fold it in half. Make sure it's really to the edging and crease down. Then you open it up. Fold it into the center crease, and again on this side. Each one of these little squares should be 2.5 inches right here. You open it up, and you have 4 sections. You turn it around so that the white is facing up. Whatever color you want to be seen on the outside, you put down. So now you take this corner and you want to fold it right to that line, like that. Then you take the center piece and fold it right to that fold, all the way to it, like that. Then you take this piece and just simply fold it up, fold this in, and fold this over. And then you take this piece. Sometimes this tip is too long. I just tear it off, and nobody sees it anyway. And then I pop it inside, like a pocket. There it is. If you have to trim off the top, or have you got a little bit like this, just cut off whatever you don't like poking out. But this works perfectly fine. And then if you have a little note or something, you can slip right in here. That's it. I made hundreds of these because they're just so easy to make. That's number 1 idea. The number 2 idea is to make these little bags. You can make them with wrapping paper, any kind of soft, lightweight cardstock, paper of any kind. And I made all these. I used a couple already for some of my journals, but I actually have a sticker, and I stuck here, and I made these flowers. Maybe I can show you how to make those. Those are so cute. They're whimsical flowers. Here's another one. Here's a whimsical flower. And then I just stuck a thank you on it, and that's all you do. Let me show you how you make this. I'm just going to use I just have a piece of paper on the desk here. I'm just going to use it. And you can have it any size, okay? I'm going to have it I just want to have it, I guess it's 2.5 inches wide. Let's see if this is the same. Yeah, it's about the same. 2.5 inches wide. And then I'm just going to take my scissors and cut a little margin right here. You got to have a margin. Then you can take a ruler or something, set it next to that line, and use your finger and just kind of push up so that it makes a crease, a folding line. See, it makes it really easy to fold. And then you can fold it down and over. You can use two double-sided tape for this if you want, but I find it doesn't stick very well. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Barely Art Precision Glue. This is good glue. Now, of course, you'll see how long this bag is. Well, I don't want it that long. I want it to be about this size. So I'm going to just simply cut across. And you can use your cutter to make it straight, make sure it's straight. I can use that for something else. Okay, so then I simply glue and get it stuck really good. Hold it down. Maybe let it sit for a few minutes to make sure it's good and down, because we're going to be manipulating this edge, and if you don't have it glued completely, it might mess up. So I want that. Now, frankly, I should have left a little bit more down here, but I didn't. So it's going to be a short bag, but that's okay. So now that's the front. This is the back. And then you take the bottom here and you just fold it up a little bit. Just like that. Make it really creased good. You can use a bone folder. I have this thing I can use. This is my scorer. And then you open this up, and squish the corners down on each side. Now what I like to do is I like to go in a little bit here as opposed to just going straight up. So I give it a little bit more of an indentation, because when you pull this up, you want it to be able to be glued to the bag, not to this other flap. So what I do is I cut this down just a little bit, put some glue here, and then hold it up. You just made a bag, a little flat bag. This is good if you want to put a note in, or candy, or something flat in here. And so now what we're going to do is the handles. So you take a piece of paper that you have, maybe the same color as your bag, and you just cut a little strip. Doesn't have to be perfect, just cut a strip. It's kind of wonky, but I don't care. And you just measure here to here and cut right here, because I want this piece is going to go on the inside of the bag, but I want to make sure that it doesn't go all the way to the edge. There's one, and I'll do the same with this one. All right, you got these two. You put them right side down, and you grab some ribbon. I use this little skinny ribbon. And I want to make my handle like about this size. So then I just make sure I do two that size. And then I cut it, and then there's my two pieces. Now I do use sticky tape here. I use two-sided tape here because it's easier to use than trying to glue these things down. So I use two-sided tape. I put it on the wrong side. And then I'll do the other one. I just keep going. I put it on the wrong side. And then I have that one. And I have this one. And I'm just going to trim it so I don't get the stickies all over the place. Doesn't matter if one's fatter than the other. Okay, now what you do is you take the sticky tape paper off the back. Okay, so now you have both of these. They kind of stick to your finger. That's hard to maneuver a little bit. Then you take these right here. You put one on this side. I like to use a little something else rather than my finger. And then make sure when you go up with it, you make it flat. And then just bring it down here on this side. So there's that one. And do the same on this side. Okay, then I take these. I like to use tweezers. Open up the bag, pop it in here where you want the straps to be, and then just press it down. Turn it over. Get the other one, pop it in here. Make sure your handles are in the same position, and then glue it down. Now you have created a strong inside, okay, because of these things here, and you've got your handle. So this is one of those that I had made a smaller one. And then another purple one I made. And then I also made one with these little whimsical things on it. And of course this one. So I mean, I've made several, and you can just go to town on these. And then you can decorate the front. You can use a pretty something like this. I have several little pieces on my desk here. I can put this. Oh, that's cute. And you just glue it down. As a matter of fact, you can actually glue it around and make this a pocket. You can actually take one of the pockets we made and stick it there and use that as a pocket on the front of your bag. So you can use all kinds of things that you made. You can actually use this then and pop it in here. I'm telling you, it can go for days and days and days. And then decorate it the way you want. Give it as a gift. Use it for gift bags, and you're ready to go. Number 3 is this box. This box is so cute. I'm going to show you how to make that. We're using 6-inch square paper. I'm pretty sure you could probably take a 12 by 12 and cut it in 4 squares, and you have 6 inches. I'm going to actually use this and another piece. I'll be right back. I just found this little thing sitting on my desk here. It's a little flower. I go right on top of there. It's ephemera. Okay, that's what you call it. So, okay, we're going to make this little box out of this. You have a 6 by 6 square. Now you're wondering, well, how do I know what size to make the top of the box, the lid, this part? I'll tell you in a minute. But let's make the bottom part first. Very simple. Just a bunch of folding, no tape, no glue. And then you just fold it in half. Fold it in half again the other way. Take each corner and go to the center. These are my bones. I like to make it nice sharp. And I go across the other side and go in this way because then it makes it easier to do the sides. I don't know, I just think it is. And then this way. Don't lap over. Try not to lap over the other sides. If you have a little gap like that, that's okay. It's not too bad, but get as close as you can. And like that. All right. This is the square of the bottom of the box. To make the top, what you do is once you're at this position, this is what you measure to make the lid. This is how you do that. You put it on another piece of paper and just mark around it. Here. Now you can use a cutter or just very carefully cut that part out. And that's your lid. It's the same size as when you fold this down to this, okay? So put that aside. And now what you do is we start folding to make the box. You want to fold this in thirds, this way and this way. And the way to do thirds is you can measure it if you want, but I just eyeball it. I kind of just go back past the center a little bit and fold it down. I open it up and I take this side and fold it to the crease. Open it up. Now it's easier to do this one because now you simply fold it to the junction line of these two folds. There's one here. You can see where that connects right there. That's where you want to bring it now to that point. So you just fold it over. That makes your thirds work better. Open it up. Fold it into that crease. Get in there. Okay, that's all the folding you need. So what you do is you simply open these up, just on the top and the bottom, doesn't matter which side, and these are the sides of your box. Now you push those in on each side like that. And all you do now is you take your finger and you fold this, you punch this in like this at the top. Make sure it's nice and creased into a box. You put this piece over and inside. So simple. And now you do the same thing. You push your fingers in. Let one side go in and one side go out. Push this in like this. This now goes over. And now you have your center. There is your bottom of your box. Okay, the top, same thing, fold it in half, right side out, fold it in half again. Take your corners and fold them to the center like that. Do the same thing on all four corners. You can make the box bigger. You can make it an 8-inch box. This is a 6-inch box. Then you'll have to do the same measuring for the lid. Now what you do is you take this and we're going to do the edging folding. And what you do is you just fold to the center. You don't go past it. You don't do thirds. You just go to the center. So you fold it to the center. You want to do it a little bit on this side of the center. Okay? And you want to make sure it's nice and straight, which I didn't get down. Let me see. Let's get this straight. Okay. Take the other side. Fold it close to the center, but not over it. Do the same thing on the other side. Fold it in close to the center, but not all the way to it. You want to do it on all sides the same. Then you get a nice square lid. All right, so now what you do is the same thing you did with the box bottom. You pull one side out, you pull the other side out. and make sure that that's inside. Remember, on this one, I didn't even use any kind of glue. If you want and you don't like these tabs sticking up, this is where you put your glue. If you want to. I'm just going to show you. So I'm going to put it on that tab and put it on that tab. And that's it. Just to hold it down. Okay? Just to hold it down so it's not in the way. See? You can do that. You simply do the same thing. You push your fingers in. It makes the side go in with it. Like that. Do the same thing on this side. Push it in. Go down on the inside. There's your lid. Look at that. Perfect. A little tiny book with little folded pages. So the first thing you do is you get a piece of paper, but this is 2.5 inches wide by 11 inches long. 2.5 inches wide by 11 inches long. Now we're getting more complicated in our designs and our crafting. But this little book is so precious. I can actually use this little book and stick it in here. Wouldn't that be a cute gift? Okay. So now we take this, and you want to find the center. I like to use my grid board. I want to find the center. Ignore that. I want to find the center. And then I just kind of draw a line down the center like that. You need it for like a guide. And then you take this bottom part and you go up to the line, fold it in. You take the other side and fold it to that center as well. This is what you're going to create your pages. All you do now is start your folding. Fold in. Open. Fold into the center. And take this side and fold into the center. Okay, you got those going on. Then you see how it's kind of like this? These are called mountains, the ones that stick up. They're mountains. We want them all to go in the same direction, and these ones are going in the same direction. So now you take this and go up to this point. What you're doing is you're making even pages, perfect symmetrical pages for your book. And you go back up there to that one. You take this one and match it up to this one. Take this and match it up to there. Okay? I want my book to be smaller. So now I make sure all these mountains are all mountains. So I move this up like this. See how I did that? You take this one and move this up in the middle. Take this one, move it up to the middle. Make sure I get it on that crease. Take this one and move it up to the middle. So now they're all mountains. Then you take this mountain and connect it, they call it the shore. Take this and connect it to this. This is where it gets interesting because you want to make sure these pages are right on. This one to here. Squeeze, 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 and then flip this one up. You have got your pages. The part that has the paper connected is the inside. The side that is just plain, of course I have some writing on it, so ignore that, is the outside. So then you hold it together like this, and you make sure your ends are out. See how those ends are out? And this is what you want to glue. You take some glue and you just put it down the center spine. Just a little bit. And then you take your finger and rub it into that spine. And I take a paper clip or a some kind of a clamp, and I just clamp it. And I let that dry. And we'll be right back. All right, so this has dried. And now we want to make the cover, this little cover. So fold those down. Those are my flaps. See, it goes like that. Because you need the flaps to put inside your book. See how it opens like that? Woohoo! Now we take a long strip. I'm going to use, let's see what I got. Let me find some paper. Okay, so I got me a nice long strip. It's 2.5 by 10. So now what you do is the same thing we did earlier, is we mark the center. So I use my grid, kind of put it in the middle, and I just put a little line down the middle, like that, just enough. So then you take this little book and you set it to the side like that, because you want to fold this piece. You're going to fold this piece this way and this piece this way to match this book size perfectly. Sometimes this center guide doesn't work, okay? So you have to use your little book. And it's probably a good idea, I think it's a good idea, to put it in the center, make sure it's in the center, and then just mark the book page backing like that. Now I'm going to take this and fold it this way. Almost to that center line, it looks like. If you have a scoreboard, this is probably a good time to do it. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, you want to make sure that this little book has teeny edge on each side, like a book would be, okay? Okay, now we take this, just fold it in. You make it the size of the book, like that. Okay. This piece will go in like this with the spine of the book on the inside. You see how that goes like that now? Like that. So what you did, let me do it again. Fold this in, and you're going to slide your book page right in here, like that. Fold this down, and you have to have a little spine. So I just kind of eyeball the spine. This comes across like that. Now I don't need all this, right? I'm going to cut it. Fold it in on itself to make another casing to hold the other side of the book. So now you take this piece and shove it in here, close it, and now you have your book. That's all there is to making the little book with the pages. Now, you'll notice that I have a little bit more space up here than I should have had, because it makes the book kind of loosey-goosey inside. So what I do is I actually glue. I do glue it at this point if I want to. You don't have to, but I like to glue at least the spine. So I'm going to use a little bit of glue and stick it in here. Not much, just a little dab, just to kind of make sure it sits. And then I push it down. Just push it down, fold it over, use a clip, and let it dry. Or again, you don't have to glue anything at all. So that's my book. And we're gonna make a Christmas card ensemble.